And welcome back. It is December the 5th, 2019. It's about 10 minutes after 3 in the afternoon. Kitty's doing what Kitty does. This is how we begin every new guitar day. Yesterday we had a new used guitar day. Today we actually have a new guitar day. Although this guitar is a new old stock guitar, according to the serial number, this is a 2016. And what we have here is an unusual guitar, something that I was curious about a while back, but at the normal price I wasn't curious, and I got this one on sale at Sam Ash. This is an Epiphone, and this is the name, this is what they call it, inspired by 1966 Century. And this is a throwback to the old Gibson. What are you doing over there? Oh, sir, eating the box. It's delicious. This is a throwback to the old Gibson ES-125. And these basically were little hollow body jazz F-hole Archtop guitars that they put a pickup on back in the day. Sort of, you know, pre-rock and roll, pre-Fender Telecaster. And so that's what we've got. Yeah, so I got it this afternoon about 2.5 hours ago. It was cold outside, not brutal, so I let it acclimate for a couple hours. I do have a couple concerns before I even open the box. There was a little damage to the front of the box here, though, although I don't think it did anything. But my bigger concern was, is since these have been on sale, I've read a couple online reviews, and 2 different people have received these with different forms of damage. One guy had a cracked neck up by the nut, and another guy had a cracked neck by the heel. And so let's cross our fingers. You never know what you're going to get. Life is like Forrest Gump. When you buy a guitar, you never know what you're going to get. So let's crack it open and take a look. Excuse me, Miss Kitty. Excuse me. This will be a real quick. We already took it out of its big box so that it could get a little air and acclimate. So this is just a quick, and it looks, I don't know. Now, see, my feeling is when there's bubble wrap on it, that tells me that this guitar has been opened. So I'm curious. I'm suspicious. I'm not quite convinced. I have gotten quite a few Epiphone guitars, and I've never gotten an Epiphone guitar that had bubble wrap. So my suspicion is this is an open box guitar. And being the suspicious person that I am, I'm going to stick with that story. I realize it was on sale, but still it was advertised as a new guitar. So I'm going to definitely inquire. Yeah, see this bubble wrap here, very non-Epiphone. So I am of the suspicion that this was an open box guitar. That being said, if it has no problems, I might just point that out and go no further. The first thing we're going to look at is up here with careful, and it doesn't look like there's any issue at all there. It doesn't look like there's any issues there. We're going to look at it closer. Got the tag here. We're going to look at the heel of the neck. In fact, I'm going to go get, yeah, I can almost guarantee you, this looks Epiphone factory, this doesn't. So my guess is this was an open box guitar, whatever that means. I mean, someone may have opened it and looked at it and put it back in the box, but that to me doesn't quite qualify for a brand new guitar. But it is really a very pretty looking guitar. First inspection here. And it does have all the normal gizmos and stuff on it. So yeah, let's get our It's actually quite lovely. I was sort of concerned some of the pictures, it looks sort of cheesy. I mean, the wood looks nice. Okay, so let's do a forensic examination here. That doesn't work with the light. I don't see any issues there at all, like that other guy had. I don't see any issues there. I was going to run my hand up and down the frets. They actually feel nice. There's a little bit of sharpness there, but nothing to be overly concerned about. And it actually weighs more than I would have expected. Look at that neck. Looks absolutely perfect to me. Yeah, on first inspection, I don't see any issues at all. But again, I'm still convinced it's open box. So I'm going to mention it to them. They can do whatever they want with that. But again, this is not Epiphone bubble wrap. Guarantee you. Been buying Epiphone guitars now for quite a while, so I've got a pretty good handle on what's what. But let's just gaze upon the beauty of that. It's actually a really nice looking guitar. It doesn't have that. Again, I was sort of concerned about that sunburst looking sort of cheesy. Sometimes they do, but this actually looks really nice. Excuse me, kitty. Oh, sir. So, barring any, discoveries of something odd, let's read out the serial number here for everybody at home. This is serial number 1609150135. And, so it's a 2016, but, so we'll see. Being as this guitar has a floating bridge, we may have to do some adjustments to it before we can get it playable, although it looks like it could be okay. The action, it's a little high, but for a jazz box, and these can be adjusted down, although not much. But first inspection, as I've said before, sometimes it's best to let your hands do the walking. Feels pretty darn good. So we're going to go tune this thing up. Probably take a little while for it to hold a tune, and we'll come back and give you some impressions. Very good. Okay, so we're going to conclude this new guitar day. Again, it is December the 5th, 2019, and I just played this guitar for an hour, and I'm actually quite impressed. Considering that this is a new old stock guitar, that if it was early 2016, it's just getting ready to turn 4 years old. I'm essentially set in a warehouse/warehouses. Could have been in a retail store in the back room for a while and then shipped back to the warehouse. The only issue I notice, which is certainly nothing to worry about, the fret edges are a little bit sharp, but that certainly is to be expected, and I'll either just let the fretboard acclimate, maybe it'll swell a little bit, or I'll do a little bit of filing. Other than that, it's a really nice guitar. I'm really impressed. I have to say that even the camera, I'm looking at the guitar, and through the camera screen, photography doesn't do justice, in my opinion. The sunburst on this guitar is just really a very nice sunburst. It's nice. And I also appreciate the satin finish. It sort of softens it. And I think it makes the guitar a little bit more resonant as well. And it does have a different sound to it, which again, it's going to take me a while to really decide if I love the sound, because it's different. When you put a pickup in the neck position, you certainly get more of a bassy feel. But it is a P90 pickup. It's an Epiphone P90 Pro. Doesn't growl as much as I thought it would, but again, that may just be, I just need to experiment. But it's a lovely guitar. It's a lovely guitar. I don't think I would have paid the original price for it that they were asking, which is, I originally think they started at $600 and then they popped up to $650. But for the sale price I got at Sam Ash, I have no regrets at all. I think it's totally worth that. I don't know if it would have cut into their profit margin, but I think that that's probably what they should have priced it at, and they probably would have sold a gazillion of them. So there you go. And based on the reviews I was seeing from a couple other people, I did have some concerns, but this one shipped fine. There was I can see no issues with it whatsoever. See, the camera shows the color accuracy is just not really correct. It's a much deeper color. It's showing the this part of the guitar is being really yellow, and it's really not in person. Maybe if I back up, maybe it's because the light's so bright. But yeah, a lovely guitar. Very simple, basic, nothing fancy, dot inlays. The tuners seem to work adequate, which is all I could hope for. And there you go. So I have nothing to offer to this other than to say, with a fair amount of confidence, this will be the last new guitar day of 2019, and maybe for quite some time. I've just got way too many guitars. I need to sell some to balance it out. The last 3 years has been pretty much Baskin-Robbins 31 flavors. I've been trying every model, and again, this is a model from my childhood. You know, I don't think anyone ever really made it to the rock and roll pantheon playing one of these, because it is a hollow body, and if you're going to get on stage and play, you're going to have some feedback issues. But this certainly is the bridge from jazz to rock and roll. I'm sure the early rockers, the early rockabilly guys, were grabbing these things because they were what was available and slamming out some really good tunes. So there you go. So again, this is the unboxing of the Epiphone inspired by 1966 Century. And as always, we thank you for joining us. And Merry Christmas to all and a Happy New Year.